Hello. Welcome everyone to the next lecture of data analytics in Excel. This lecture will be a little different because we will not be using the basics of techniques or tools that are used by others. But in this lecture, you will be amazed of how efficient you can be and how I will be saving a lot of your time if you're doing some certain functions. This particular lecture is all about descriptive statistics, and I will explain what descriptive statistics is well later. But just know, under descriptive statistics, we have to perform certain functions to get information related to the entire data set. And while we are performing all of these functions, we have to type all of them one by one, and then we also need to know how to apply them as well. But in our scenario, we'll not be doing any of it because we'll be automating everything by using something known as an add-in. Now, just how we have, let's say, Legos, remember it like that. In Legos, let's say you have created a car, and now you want, let's say, a machine gun at the top of the car. Okay, it might sound a little weird, but you want, let's say, a machine gun at the top of a car. Now, while you're doing all of it, you actually have to add some blocks in front of the car, at the top of the car, right? Just like that, in Excel, we have a particular software, but some of the options are not enabled, and we have to add that in our software. So the first thing before we actually work with descriptive statistics today, as we know, we'll be working with add-ins. We first have to enable it. Now, in my Excel software, I have enabled all of it, but I will show you how to actually do it. Just hang around with me and see how we should actually go around with the same, and then we'll work with descriptive statistics. Let's just dive into it. So if you can see my screen now, I'm going to the icon of file, and under file, I'm going with something known as options. And under options, you can see this Excel options pop in, will come in front of you. And we have like a lot of options to work around here. Customize label is something that most people work around, but I don't. We'll start with add-ins for now. If I'm going with add-ins, you can see what all I've activated. But we don't want to see any of that. We want to focus on this tiny column here, that is manage Excel add-ins. So I want to enable Excel add-ins, although later we'll be working with COM add-ins as well. I'll click on OK, go here. You can see there are a couple of add-ins that I can enable, and I've enabled all of them, right? You need to tick all of them and then click on OK, and then the options will come in front of you. And then you can see add-ins. You can add add-ins from the Microsoft website also. There's one add-ins for, let's say, analyze data as well. But for now, we need to work with something related to this tab, which will come only and only if you are able to enable in the first place. Before that, let's just try to clean this entire data set first. Took 3 seconds. Oh, okay. Okay, now this entire data set looks a little clean. So I can see that this particular, let's say, data set is about sales in a particular company. We have different outlets. Outlet size is there. When did the outlet start? What's the item outlet sale? That is, if you're going with dairy item, what is the outlet sales, and it's the outlet identifier and whatnot. So this is related to a company which are having like a lot of retail outlets all across the country. I don't know what country it is, but this is the data that you have been given as a data analyst in the company. So you have to work around with that. And let's say you want to see the company is asking you about, the problem statement is about the packets that we use. So the government came up with a new rule that plastics are now banned. And now you know that you have to shift to paper bags. And when you actually shift to paper bags, there's a restriction of the weight that you have to make, right? So you need to see what is the highest weight that any particular customer is carrying. And if and only if we can do that, with paper bags, or if it is very high, do we need to find some other alternative than plastic and paper bag in the first place? So this is what you have to do. And to solve this problem statement that I've created right now, you need to look at how varied this entire data set is in terms of the item weight that anyone is going to carry. So let's try to work around with that, and I will have a ballpark number that one paper bag can, okay, we are having a very solid one, but one paper bag can carry, let's say, 10 kgs approximately. A very random figure, but this is what we have right now. So we'll see how we can work around with that and try to understand our decision in the last place. We are going with, let's say, data analysis, right? And under data analysis, if I click here, you can see there's a lot of options which will come in front of you. We want to work with only and only descriptive statistics. And if I'm going to click on descriptive statistics and then click on OK, it will ask me to give some of the inputs and how I want the outputs as well. So input, I want, I'm going to just click here. It will start blinking like this. And then I will go to item weight. And then I'm going to select everything using Control Shift down arrow. It's going to take some time because we have a lot of nulls in between. We'll see how we can work on with nulls as well. Okay, so there's one thing that I could understand. There's like a lot of let's say cells. So we have 14205. So I can just manually write $14205. Right, so we have selected this entire array now, and these are in a particular column. This is not rows, so we will say this is columns. We haven't selected the header, right? If we have worked with, let's say, from B1, I'll go with B1 instead. Then we have to tell our Excel that the first cell is actually not a value, but it is just another header, that is a label item. And then I want output to be in the same worksheet, and that's why I want it to be, let's say I want it to be here. And if you wanted to in a new worksheet, then you can work around with that. I want summary statistics out of all of these three. So you click here. You can select all of these three if you want, but for now, it is a summary statistics we are going to focus, right? You can see if you want another worksheet, it will create a new worksheet for you. If you wanted a new workbook, it will create a new workbook for you. And if I'm going to click on OK here, you can see this pop-up came in front of you, and you can see the average weight is actually 12.79, right? 12.79 kgs is the average size of a particular order that we are going to have. Most of the time, the order is actually 17.6 as set by mode, and median is 12.6. If we do from ascending to descending, the center point is 12.6. This is a standard deviation. Now it can go 12.7 plus 4.6, or it can go 12.7 minus 4.6 as well. It can go anywhere in between. Sample variance is this, and if you can see, a square root of sample variance is just standard deviation. Kurtosis, skewness, range. This is something that we don't need to work on right now. We have a range of this. The high minus low is actually this. The highest value is actually 21.35, and the lowest value is actually 4.55. Now there are inferences that we had to create using this entire data set, and that would be how much is how effective it would be if you're going to use paper bags. So I think it would be effective because at the end of the day, it's not us giving only one particular paper bag. If the particular person has ordered very less, then the item weight will be very less, and giving one bag will not cost us a lot. But if we are giving two paper weight, let's say bags to cover this 21.35 high, we can easily do that because person has of course ordered a lot, and that's why the weight of item that the person has bought is also very high, right? So this is one thing that you have to understand as you work with this. This is how we can actually create descriptive statistics with a lot of efficiency and without doing all the grunt work by ourselves. We need not write all of these formula by ourselves. We need not remember any of this formula by ourselves. We can just complete it using a data analysis toolpath, right? Let's try to do it again with, let's say, I will select any particular, let's say item MRP. I want to see how varied these items are, or I can also see the average sale. Let's say I want to see on sales, right? So there are two things in front of me. I can either see item MRP. Let's try to do it on MRP itself because we can understand what is the average, let's say, revenue that we are getting from a particular person, right? So I will go with data analysis again. And the objective of this is to understand what is the highest, let's say, a purchase that anyone is making. What is, let's say, the lowest item, a costed item that anyone is there, and what is the average sales that we are going to get on any particular customer and taken on random. So if I'm going to click on OK, it is going to take this cell because we all just work with descriptive statistics, but we have to change it, this column B from column F, because that's exactly where our data points are. I have to delete this, and then you can see now it is F2 to F1514205. It is column. I haven't taken headers, so I will just do that. And I want the output to be next to this one. Yeah, this is fine. I want summary statistics again. There is an error here. Oh, I can see that. Only O4. Yeah, it's fine. O4. Yeah. So now I can see when I didn't write, when I didn't select the entire cell that was saying that just select the headers, then it is showing me column 1. Otherwise, we can select the column and we can say the first cell is actually a header, and it will display that particular name there. And that's why I didn't select it this time, so that you can know how do we actually use it in the first place, right? So you can see the average revenue that we are getting from a particular person is 141, and there are in the total scenario we have something around, let's say, 20 lakh 2,834 as our revenue from all across the outlets, right? So we can obviously get the total sales from here. The minimum order quantity is 31. The highest order quantity is actually 266 for us, and we need not worry about mode and median for now, because this is exactly what we'll be getting if you're doing with a textual value. So this is how you actually work around with descriptive statistics. I hope you like the lecture. If you have any doubts, you can text me. This particular Excel file will be in the description. You can download it from there. And if you want to work around with any other example, you can do that. I would love for you to actually work around with the same techniques I'm teaching you, and create your own scenarios and understand what will be the answer to a particular question that you have in your mind. That would be it from my end. Thank you for joining.